Aviation fans, welcome back to another episode of Imperial Diecast. And today, we're going to be taking a look at a 1/500 scale Boeing 727-100 by Herpa. So here's what the box looks like. As you can see, this is of Northeast, and it's new generation, meaning it has the small landing gear. Here's a look at the side. And this is Herpa catalog number 513104. And here at the back, you can see it's part of a limited edition. It's got a wingspan of 32.92 meters, a length of 40.59 meters, and a height of 10.36 meters. Now, this is model number 2342. So yeah, let's unbox it. Now, I picked this up for €10 along with the DC-8 I've already reviewed and a 727-200, both of which also only costed €10. So I'd say that was a pretty good deal, although I had to pay €17 shipping for the three of them. And here it is. The Boeing 727-100. So after Boeing developed its first commercial jetliner, the 707 quadjet for long haul, the 727 was designed to be Boeing's short-haul domestic airliner. But with a range of 4,100 kilometers, you might as well call it medium haul. The 727 is the only trijet Boeing ever made, but this wasn't the world's first trijet, as that title belongs to the British HS Trident. Still, this is a trijet from the 1960s, a decade earlier than the advent of the long-haul wide-body trijets. Now, the Dash 100 variant was originally just known as the Boeing 727, but when Boeing made the Dash 200 extended fuselage variant, which went on to become the most sold variant, these shorter 727s were retroactively classified as Dash 100s. The first 727-100 passenger service was flown by Eastern Airlines on February 1st, 1964. A total of 572 Boeing 727-100 series were made, with production lasting until 1972. Now, this is the only Northeast Airlines model that I have in my entire collection. So this is definitely a rarity in terms of subject material, although it is still easy to find. I also think that the yellow and white livery stands out and looks good on the 727-100. As for the airline, Northeast was based in Boston and served, as you may have guessed, primarily northeastern US, basically the New England area, but also had flights into Canada and started expanding further into mainland US. Now, the 727s that entered its fleet 1967 onward were mostly used for flights to Florida. These 727s were called Yellowbirds and only served Northeast in its final 5 years of operation because it got purchased by Delta in 1972. Now, before this merger, Delta Airlines wasn't operating in the Boston area, and similarly, Delta Airlines gained the 727 fleet only after the merger. So, Delta hadn't been using 727s in the 1960s, but quickly became their biggest operator in the 1970s and 1980s. So we'll start our review by taking a look at the port side of the aircraft at the L1 door, and you can see that it has a porthole and a door handle. And moving along to the right, we can see the Northeast titles above the window line. We have 2 emergency exit doors over the wing, and then we have the registration of the plane as well, which is November India 638, or maybe November 1638, I'm not sure. And of course we have the iconic T-tail with the Northeast Yellowbird branding on it. Now taking a look at the wings of the plane. So these Yellowbirds are known for their yellow wings and yellow horizontal stabilizers as well. And the detail level is good, I'd say. I mean, you can see that right here on the horizontal stabilizer. We do have the elevators carved into them, which is really nice. As for the wings, we do get the air brakes and slats and all that, or flaps I should say, but the slats are also visible here at the front. So no emergency exit markings though. It's the only thing that I don't like. Taking a look at the three engines on this plane, these are Pratt & Whitney JT8Ds. However, what is strange is that engine number 2's air intake is supposed to be an S-duct, just like on the Lockheed L-1011, but Herpa actually modeled the fan blades onto the engine, just like with the other two, so that is actually not very accurate on this casting. But I believe that they fixed this on the 727-200 mold. So yeah, a little weird, but otherwise it still looks fine. And taking a look at the front, you can see that we get some nice details in the form of silver frames around the cockpit windows, a black radome, and then more black underneath the windows to shield the cockpit and the pilot's vision from sun glare. And we also get eyebrow windows. So overall, this looks good. And here's a look at the other side of the aircraft, and I think that the profile just looks great on the 727. Now, you can see that we have cargo doors, both in the aft and the fore section, and the realistic landing gear also makes the ride height, if you will, of this plane good compared to the old generation Herpas. And you can see that we also have some detail on the exhaust, if I can get this to focus. There you go. And the vertical stabilizer also has the rudder carved onto it. Now, the exhaust of the other two engines unfortunately doesn't have any holes in it. If I can just zoom this a little, there you go. I wish they would have added a little more detail there, but otherwise it's fine. And now taking a look at the bottom of the plane. If I can actually get this to align properly, there you go, focus. You can see that the bottom is not very detailed, but still decent. The entire bottom is yellow, so that's kind of cool. The 727 or 727 is supposed to have an aft stairs right here, but that is not modeled onto the casting by Herpa, which is unfortunate. I think Starjets includes that in their casting. Anyway, it says Herpa in the middle, and that's about it. And for comparison, I have here a Boeing 737-200, the early variant basically. And you can see that compared to the 727-100, the Boeing 737-200 was even shorter. So there's a reason why the 727 remained a workhorse throughout the 1970s and 80s when it comes to short-haul flights, because it could carry more passengers than the 737s, all the way until I think the 737-400 was made. So even though it had 3 engines instead of 2, and was therefore less fuel efficient, it could move more passengers at once compared to the 737s, and therefore remained in service, and was not really replaced by the 737 until more variants started coming out. So I hope you guys liked my review of the 1/500 scale Boeing 727-100 in the Northeast Airlines livery. It's definitely a cool looking model, and if you're interested in more plane reviews, be sure to check out some of my other videos here. So take care, have a wonderful day, and this is Imperial Diecast, signing out.